just watch the Patriots being built. And now they're 9-2, and they've won 8 in a row. Do you have any insights on all of this from the draft from last year? Anything that you want to kind of shed light on? Because this is exactly what teams that choose top 5 in the draft a couple years in a row, hoping that it hits with a quarterback. This is the sort of ascension, quick rocket ship type stuff that everyone's looking for. Tom.
Listen, the biggest thing that the Patriots got right in 2024 was Drake May. And I know that that's now the obvious answer, but you go back to draft night and they were still fielding calls. They had multiple offers. The Giants had showed interest. The Vikings made an offer to go up and get him. I know that Kevin O'Connell was a big fan of Drake May. Obviously, Josh McCown had a pre-existing relationship with Drake May. And it wasn't until about 2-3 hours before the draft that I reported that the Patriots are going to stand pat and make the pick. They wanted to see, do they get the type of Godfather offer that would allow them to move? But it always seemed like they really had a high-level belief in Drake May, who is not, by the way, Rich, a slam dunk in the scouting process. Yes, he had all these traits, and he's a big physical guy with a big arm, and he can make plays, but he was the youngest. He was arguably, of the 6 quarterbacks that went in the top 12, the least ready in terms of the experience level. He was younger than these guys. A lot of them, not everybody's Bo Nix playing 6 years of college football, but Michael Penix played 6 years of college football. Obviously, Caleb had played a ton all the way through his career. Jaden Daniels had an extended college career at multiple schools. So there were a bunch of different flavors. It was not as if, boy, Drake May is clearly going to be the MVP candidate. He was the 3rd quarterback to come off the board. But regardless of what else happened in that draft, they got the quarterback right. And then, fast forward to January of 2025, they had to make a difficult decision on paper, which was moving on from their handpicked successor in Gerard Mayo, but they had a very clear plan, and they moved within a week to hire Mike Vrabel. They believed, and they knew him very well, that he could lead an instantaneous turnaround. I think that if you even rewind to week 1 of the season, I was at that game against the Raiders. It did not look like it was going to be a quick flip. That was the second half of that game was the best football Geno Smith has played this entire season. They lost to the Raiders in week 1. I believe the Patriots started 1-2.
They did.
But then you saw them begin to start gathering momentum. Mike Vrabel has always had a really good eye for talent, not just in terms of players, but also in terms of his coaching staff. Josh McDaniels, it was kind of an open secret that he was going to be the offensive coordinator. But for instance, Mike Vrabel interviews Thomas Brown for the OC job. He was going to go with Josh, but he's like, this guy's really impressive. All right, hey, man, I can't give you the OC job, but do you want to be the tight ends coach? And Thomas Brown, who's held a bunch of different roles and has always been, he's been a head coaching candidate in the past. He's worked with Sean McVay. He's a great fit. Todd Downey, who had been the OC in Tennessee, he's now the wide receivers coach. Obviously, the defensive coordinator, that's been a tough situation with not having him in the building here recently. But, we had Zach Kerr, who's kind of like when Shane Bowen was the play caller in Tennessee, where it was Mike Vrabel entrusted a guy that most people in the league had never even heard of, but had been with Mike going back to Ohio State, that, all right, Terrell Williams is not going to be able to be the guy. Zach, you're stepping in. You're now calling this defense. And maybe the most impressive thing, Rich, to me, is just when you watch Mike Vrabel interact with his coaches, interact with his players, interact with the officials. He is in complete control of everything surrounding the team. He's not going to cave to public pressure. Why are you not playing Travion Henderson early? Because we don't think he's ready. Then all of a sudden, around week 7, week 8, all right, he's ready now.
He
and he goes off for 3 touchdowns last night. Stephon Diggs, what was the whole talk in the offseason? Are they going to cut him before his bonus money is due? Or is he never going to pass a physical? And Vrabel just kind of shrugged off everything in the offseason, and now Diggs looks like the best bargain in free agency. It's a long-winded way of saying, Rich, they made a lot of wise decisions along the way, getting the quarterback a year before Vrabel even got there, and that decision, which was the Crafts and it was Elliott Wolf, those guys got that right, and that's a huge piece of what they're building right now.
Hey, you made it all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Check us out every single day streaming live on Disney Plus and the ESPN app 12 to 3 Eastern.